G'day folks, welcome back to Dune Awakening. Hope you guys are doing well. We're obviously in our humble little abode. In this episode, I think we're going to focus a little bit more on trying to join the Atreides. We've got a test of loyalty, which should take us up this way, where we can also hit up a couple of these scavenger bases just to gather up a little bit more extra intel. We'll see if I include any of the ironworks type locations. We could perhaps maybe do that as well, but at the very least though, we're definitely going to complete that contract, and we might also just go back to the anvil to turn it in, and I presume there's going to be additional stuff to do afterwards. But before we even get to doing those quest lines, I think I'm going to also do a little bit of building in this episode. And this time around, we are going to focus quite heavily on placing down decorations. And I've, taken the liberty of buying up some of those chome decorations from the closest trader. So we've got everything set up. We just need to sort of do it. I might actually do maybe some small expansions here and there. We'll see how we go. But I will speed things up so it won't take too long. Okay guys, I think we're done with all of the building and decorating for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that and that gave you a little bit of a look at what's possible. I only have the Chome set so far, which means that there's probably a whole bunch more that we could do in the space, provided we buy some more expensive furniture sets, which I will probably get around to doing at some point, but I think it's time for us to move on somewhat. I did build myself one of these, a water cistern, so I'm not entirely sure how the water cistern works. I believe... yeah, okay, so by the looks of it, it is actually gathering up a little bit of water, and it's probably sharing the amount of water that is being produced by the filtration system down below, which could probably mean that it's not a bad idea for us to build more of them, in fact. So let me just see if I can quickly do that. And yeah, I figure maybe having a few cisterns is a good idea because we've got plenty of blood to, you know, convert into water at this point. So let's drop in another one. This space here seems a little empty. But you know what? I think that can be for another episode. Let's do another one just over here. Yeah, sorry, I'm just sort of considering, do I really want to drop it there where I'm sort of moving in and out of the space? Maybe I can drop one just in this corner here. And yeah, we'll have plenty of water being stored up, which is very nice. Let's just take a look at what we're dealing with here. Yeah, so it is definitely drawing from the blood here, which means that we should have tons and tons of water to deal with when we need it. I should be collecting more blood, obviously, when we do get going, and I think... is there anything else that we need to do while we're still here? I'm sort of trying to think about any additional fabricators that we have access to. Oh yes, that's right. We do have access to a vehicle fabricator. And I do want to place that down because I want to start thinking about fabricating bigger vehicles. I probably need a little bit more space to work with for a vehicle fabricator, and one thing that I'm not entirely sure of is whether or not I should be leaving it outside or what the deal is with the vehicle fabricator. I could perhaps maybe just experiment with it by placing it outside, but one thing at a time. We'll focus on just dealing with this contract, clearing up a couple of the, you know, scavenger camps out here, and I'd probably want to go to the anvil as well just to turn in that contract before coming back and perhaps checking out the vehicle fabricator. And obviously there's going to be a whole bunch of research that we'll need to do to be able to then fabricate better vehicles than what we currently have, which is, yes, still using our trusty sand bike, which is, you know, doing work for us, to be honest. Just looking at our inventory here, it is a little bit full, isn't it? Probably because of all of the granite that I've been trying to gather up for the whole building and decorating exercise. So let me just drop that in. And anything else we can tuck away? Not for now. We don't seem to have a lot of cash on hand. I'm just trying to understand where that all went. Well, that's alright. I mean, we'll fix that because we're going out exploring and we'll likely find a whole bunch more Solari. So, it should be okay. Let me drop fuel cells. I think we're ready for another expedition into the desert. Just in time as well, because it is now dawn and, you know, those Sardaukar should have left by now. Gonna cut until we get to the actual destination, so I'll see you guys there. Okay, this should be the location, guys. Let me just quickly tuck away the sand bike, and we'll take a look at what's going on here. we should be finding some kind of a Samuta den. And, I can't remember exactly what we need to do there, but we'll find out when we get there. Might actually help if we tagged this quest line. Okay.
Reveal yourself.
Okay, these guys are pretty tough, apparently. Definitely want to loot these guys, and I do want to be getting some blood while we're out here. Just to make sure that we're, loading up on more water back at home. Okay, definitely in the right place. This is apparently Imperial Testing Station number whatever it was, but I guess we found one by accident. Okay, we need to find the records of Casimir's transactions. We'll try to be a little bit sneaky beaky when we can.
Who's there?
Ooh. Okay. Did not see that coming. Let's pull back a little bit. And don't forget about the sniper that we have. Nice. So we need to find a key somewhere. Don't think that's going to be too difficult. There could be a bigger group downstairs though, so let's not get too complacent. Or perhaps maybe they all chased after us upstairs. So it did say that we just found the ironworks. I don't know if perhaps this place is connected to the ironworks. Very nice. Oh, not dead just yet. There we go. Oh, there's another one. There we go. Not too bad. Can always do with more servox and capacitors though. And in fact, we are likely going to be building better vehicles sometime soon, so we're probably going to need a lot of it. Another door there, interesting. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the places that we're going to be visiting are going to be getting a lot more complex from here on out.
Identify yourself.
Whoa. Came out of nowhere. I think there are enemies in there, but we can't exactly go through just yet, I don't think. So we'll have to circle around. I'll take that. I wonder if we'll be able to grow our own, like, trees and stuff in our own base. That would be kind of cool if we're able to do that. Maybe it generates a little bit more dew and water and stuff. So perhaps maybe there's going to be a key somewhere tucked away over here. Oh. One shot, one kill. Very nice. Very, very nice. I will want to perhaps make some more heavy darts when we get back home, just to make sure we've got plenty of ammo to work with. So one thing that I was thinking about between episodes was the ability to eat spiced foods and drinks. And I was sort of thinking, is there going to be like a comfort system? That's one thing that I'm not really sure of, and so far it hasn't been evident. But there could be a need to decorate your place, make the space feel a lot more comfortable, so that you can, you know, consume the spice. I'm hearing a bit of gunfire out there. Not entirely sure what's happening, but there's the band that we need. Very nice of the game, keeping us hydrated. One thing that I also keep forgetting to do is to pick up a few bits of scrap metal when I see it. And, you know, not that we have a shortage back at home or anything like that, but it's always nice to have a little bit on you in case you do need to make yourself some more darts. So yeah, let's just be prepared here and just grab a little bit so that we're not caught off guard. Okay, so that band opens this door. Let's just take a quick peek. We've got a lot of stuff. Not everything that I want though, but we'll just leave the stuff that we don't need. No sign of these records just yet, but I assume perhaps maybe it'll be through the other door. Or maybe through here. Okay, so we've got the key for the other door. Let's head back up and let's see what we can find up there. And these lights look really, really cool. Perhaps maybe we might actually get the set that allows us to build those lights. Sorry, we're going the wrong way, aren't we? This is the door that I want. And I can see a few enemies in there. If I can kill this guy while he's still got his shield down, that'll be good. Well, that failed spectacularly. Alright. Let's have a drink. And let's look around a little bit. Ooh. Sneaky. Trying to be cheeky. Alright. Grab all of that. And I haven't been gathering a lot of blood, have I? Let me just take a quick look at our blood reserves. Yeah. So I've decided to get rid of some of the older blood bags that we've got, you know, some of the smaller ones. Just purely because it's not worth having anymore when you've got access to the medium bags. And I've got a couple of medium bags going just in case we really draw that much blood. You know, very much possible that that happens. Maybe this is the stuff that we're looking for. Yeah. Okay, so we do need to go back to the anvil to deliver all of this. And we shall do so, but before that even happens, I would say that we'd want to hit up some of these scavenger camps, grab all of the intel that we can find. Did we come in from here? Yes, we did. Just making sure that we've hit up all of this area. Make sure that we grab everything of value. I think we're done. Alright, cool. So I'll cut and I'll meet you guys when we get closer to a scavenger camp. Okay, what do we have here? One of the scavenger outposts, I assume. Miner's Watch. Let's do this. A lot of explosions everywhere. Not entirely sure what was going on there.
Need to reload. Attack.
Just do a quick heal here.
Need to reload.
Let's see if we can lure him. Nice. Okay, time to find all of that intel.
Attack. Reveal yourself.
I hear another heavy up there, so gonna have to tangle with that. I am looking out for some more fuel cells. So we've got like 4 generators going at home at the moment, so we do need to manage adding more fuel cells every now and then. Good. I think that's everyone. Now just to find that intel, and we should be sweet. Ooh, what do we have here? Mendia's wrap. I mean, it's nice to have the schematic, but I don't know about actually making it. Yeah, and I've got tons of vehicle fuel cells, so I might not really worry about that. Maybe in here somewhere. Very nice. Bit more intel there. And just looking around in case there's anything else worth grabbing, but I don't think there is. Cool, so that was nice and easy, nice and quick. Time to move on to the next scavenger outpost.
Who's that?
Okay, I wasn't entirely sure how to get up here, so I just decided to climb my way up. But yeah, we've gotten into trouble immediately. Let's try to avoid that grenade. Yeah, maybe there was a way through there. That's alright, I sort of just took a shortcut, I guess.
Shields up.
Okay, this is a bit problematic.
It'll all be over soon. Yeah.
You're not leaving here alive.
Okay, let's deal with these guys. Good times. Oh, forgot to reload. So, I like using this SMG, but it does seem to be a bit problematic at range. My guess is that it actually does less damage if you're not within ideal range. So, if we consider that, then obviously we probably do need to get ourselves a little bit closer before even starting to open fire. Oh, very nice. I will take all of this, in fact. Here's the intel we need. So the steelworks is just over there. I could go for it, although I don't think we're really too low on complex machinery at the moment, so perhaps maybe it's not entirely necessary that we visit these places. Alright. Shields off, and do we go for them? I suppose they're just over here, right? So why not? Yeah, here we go. So we definitely want to grab all of that. Alright, I'll top up on a little bit more iron ore because I think at this point I am just going to head back home and we're going to dump all of our stuff there. And I'm going to follow that on with going to the anvil to turn in our contract. So I'll actually see you guys when we get there. Alright, we are back at the anvil. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's another player. Just stood there in the middle of the road. Let's just quickly stash this just so that we avoid any damage. As much as possible, that is. Because, yeah, some of the components of the sandbike are looking pretty worse for wear. Just as well because we are hopefully going to be experimenting with the vehicle fabricator. Let's have a chat with Lieutenant Tolliver.
I thought I might see you soon. I have a special task that needs your expertise.
I've got some dirt on Maxim.
You did? Amazing. We can finally put that lowlife in his place.
Is that it then?
Nearly. Go to Maxim. Use this information to pressure him to back off the Skorda investigation. Do that, and your place with House Atreides is secure.
Okay, so one more thing. We may as well ask him to tell us about himself.
I am of House Atreides. There is no call I do not answer. There is no faith that I betray. My roots stretch back to the ancient mythologies of Earth.
So they consider Earth to be a myth, or mythologies originating from Earth? Maybe. Because I've heard people mention the words Terra before, and my initial assumption was that Terra is basically the origin of humanity, meaning that's the Earth. That is a proud and ancient past indeed.
And I cleave to it all the tighter since coming to Arrakis. Look over at my counterpart, Maxim. That vulgar, avaricious addict. Squatting like a scheming toad. I aspire to be everything that he is not. Any other questions?
What do you do in your free time?
Very little of my time is free. I devote myself towards ending the war of assassins, at least. Though I sometimes listen to Communinet broadcasts.
What do you listen to?
The Atreides broadcasts. After
Of course.
everything I've seen on Arrakis, the serials ring naive to me, but the poetry still strums something in my soul.
Okay, so let's just have a chat with Maxim and tell him to back off his investigation of whatever it was that he was investigating.
Nice to see you again. Never a dull moment when you're about, eh?
Have something you should see. A Samuda transaction log?
What's this? Adorable. But this isn't the leverage you think it is. Among my people, a vice well handled is something of a status symbol.
But your addiction isn't well handled. It's excessive. And sloppy.
You sanctimonious nothing. You... Your initiative is commendable, if clumsy. But my vices are known. You have no power over me. You have nothing.
I wonder if I can come back to this first response. It's not the vice I find concerning, it's the diverted war funds.
No, you can't do this to me. No. You're a parasite, a tiny thing latched onto something worthwhile. You can't. What do you want?
Back off of the Skorda case. Lay low for a bit.
I do believe that I hate you. Very well. I'll give dear Anton a good head start on Skorda, for all the good it will do him. No great sacrifice.
You're goddamn right you will.
When you inevitably betray Anton, pay me a visit. If you're this ruthless, you should be working for us. Your talents are wasted on the Atreides.
And that's that. So, are we part of the house now? Tell me we are.
I thought I might see you soon. I have a special
It's done.
task that
Maxim
needs your
agreed to lay off the
expertise.
search for Skorda.
This is wonderful news. You were to be commended. Give me the documents. I'll transmit them to my superior.
There you go.
Very well done. Few things give me pleasure anymore, but I will savor this. Ah, I saw the look on his face. It was nearly worth what I've endured here. Nearly. Welcome. You've earned a place in the Atreides intelligence operation.
I pledge myself to your cause.
As a reward, here is a token that will grant you access to our vendors. You deserve that and more. Also, you can now align your guild to House Atreides, or join a faction-aligned guild to participate in the Landsrad. Though I warn you, this level of commitment means any future betrayal comes with heavy repercussions. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, okay, so that's probably like some of the multiplayer elements, which I'm not entirely sure we're ready for just yet. I'm ready to get back to work.
Excellent timing. I just received intel from an informant of mine in one of the mining camps in Haga Rift. I've been trying to locate a friend. The word is she's been seen around the deserter camps in the Rift. I need you to meet with my informant to confirm.
Can you tell me more about your connection to this missing friend?
It's not pertinent at this time. Just go speak to my informant.
Maybe more than a friend. I'll see what I can do and find out.
I appreciate it. And watch your back. The deserters aren't known to care whom they cross paths with.
Alright. No worries. Let's get back to it. So let me just take a look at that journal though. So I'm not sure where that one's recorded actually. The fall... Is it the fall of the Proteus? No. Deep extraction. Let's just take a look at that. Yeah, here. Just checking out our loyalties here. So we've got 2 on Atreides, which means I assume that we have joined their house. It does actually say here that we're a House Atreides recruit, which means I suppose we have aligned ourselves to their cause. And we now have a token that should open up, you know, vendor interactions in Arrakeen, which is good. Speaking of Arrakeen, and, you know, the base of operations for House Atreides. Whoa. I am. Okay, I hope we get one of those things sometime soon. But I was just about to say, maybe in the next episode we should go and visit, I think it's Harko Village it's called? So we can essentially just compare Harko Village and Arrakeen. And yeah, we'll just look around and just see what we can find there. Once again, in the previous time we checked out a base of operations, it did take us quite a while to, you know, have a look around. I don't intend for those episodes to go for too long, you know, just hanging around and not really doing too much. But I do want to just visit at least once, just to see what it's like. Alright, we are back home. And I'm really liking the fact that our house has a little bit more lighting now. It was very dark and gloomy beforehand, so I'm hoping if we do expand a little bit more, we'll be able to, you know, just make sure that we're adding various bits of lighting here and there. I probably should put a little bit more lighting outside, to be honest. Like, I don't know, maybe... I don't know if there is any lighting that you can put on ceilings. I don't think there is. But perhaps maybe we can put some lights on the pillars. Anyway, the next thing that I wanted to check out while we're at home is to take a look at that vehicle fabricator. So let's quickly see what's required to try and get there. I believe we might have all that we need to actually, you know, get the fabricator itself. But as to whether or not we're going to be able to craft anything with it is a different story. So, let's see. I could put it here for the time being, because I don't exactly know where I want to keep it for now. Sorry, I'm just looking around, making sure that we're not in trouble with the sidecar. What I might do, in fact, is I might give... Oh, someone just got caught. I might see if I can give the fabricator a little bit of space. So maybe something like that. Maybe we just build a little bit here as well. Yeah. Okay, so... So let's throw this down. Maybe just over there for the time being. And again, just trying not to get caught by the sidecar. It is sort of rotating our way, isn't it? Maybe I should take cover. Coast is looking clear. Let's take a look at this thing. Alright, so obviously we can make sand bikes. So... I think that's the only thing that we can make at the moment. We haven't maybe done the research on the buggy or any of the ornithopters. I think there might be 2 different types of ornithopters. So let's just take a look at the research panel here and let's see what we can research for now. So we can go with Mark III buggies, and I'm inclined to actually unlock that for now because our current Mark II buggy is, sorry, not buggy, sand bike is looking very worse for wear, for one of the better word. And I think we might need to create a new sand bike sometime soon. Or better yet, perhaps maybe we could just upgrade to a buggy. And since we have all the intel points, we may as well research this. As to whether or not we'll be able to construct it, we'll just quickly check on that a little bit later. We've got a Mark III buggy booster, which is going to need that cobalt paste, which we don't have, but if we do go with a buggy, we're going to need that booster, I would say. So let's quickly research that, and yeah, this is going to be the problem here. Stuff is locked until we spend enough intel points. So we've got to spend another 300 intel points. So we may as well, you know, go ham on researching various things. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff which I have no idea how to retrieve. So I'm sure we'll figure it out, but let's get ourselves up this way, so just further north a little bit, and I'll meet you guys when we get to some of those scavenger camps. And when we're done there, I think we'll pivot to try and get ourselves to the Hagar Rift. And if it's too tough for us, then we can always, you know, backtrack and see if we can load up with better gear. Whoa, look at that, guys. So
Sector weather alert.
I didn't really
sandstorm is approaching.
realize all of this was going on until I saw it at night. We do have a sandstorm coming in, and that is a bit problematic. So good thing we found one of these scavenger bases pretty quickly, so let's quickly store the bike, because the bike's going to get damaged in that sandstorm. Sandstorm. So, I need to push my way into this base, and I should not stay out while this sandstorm is going on, so let's try and push as much as possible. Do want to obviously try to clear the area.
Someone's here.
There's someone here. Someone following.
Eyes on target.
Damn it. Would help if I actually have my shield on.
A large sandstorm is approaching.
Fire in the hole. I've got you covered.
Okay.
Get them.
Okay, good. Exploding sandbike. Probably don't really want to be too close to that.
Salan, we should leave this spot. There's something in all that old wreckage that is not healthy. I know. It's fine. You say it keeps outsiders away. But if everything is fine, why is my hair falling out in handfuls? Why are my finger and toenails falling off? Another week up here and we'll pass as Harkonnen.
Yeah, I suppose these guys don't understand the concept of radiation then. So, we did find radiation in the wreck of the palace, and I decided not to push through, but when I looked at the radiation timer, it does move quite slowly, and I'm just wondering whether or not there's an opportunity for us to be able to traverse through here, provided we don't let the radiation sort of fill up too much. I don't really know, but I'm willing to perhaps maybe give it a try. Who knows, we might be able to find some of the material that we actually need in here. It doesn't look like we're taking any damage. Heavy darts. Yeah, I completely forgot about needing to make myself some more heavy darts. Grab whatever these guys have. So, perhaps maybe it's buried in there somewhere, but there could be a rad suit. Or something along those lines. Which could give us some protection. But perhaps maybe radiation protection rather than, you know, damage protection. We're at halfway point here for radiation. So I might want to just leave the area for a second and then come back in to try and press on. I don't know if there's an opening to any of these wrecks or what the deal is. Yeah, we don't want to fill it up completely, obviously. Oh my goodness, alright. We suddenly had the radiation completely fill. Okay, it goes down relatively quickly. So let me make a dash for it once more. Yeah, we're just outside right here. So I'll put our shields on. I don't know if the shields really make a difference, but Yeah, we were kind of stopping every now and then there, so I just want to make a beeline for whatever this circular looking thing is. Okay, and this area is already considered to be outside of the radiation. You need to maybe just grab a little bit of shade here. So, is there actually anything worthwhile in this area? I'm not 100% sure, guys. It comes across as some kind of a wreck of a ship, potentially. Don't really know what's causing all of this radiation, and whether or not there's even worthwhile loot in here. I'm just gonna have one last look. It is a large-ish area, so potentially I could have missed something. Or perhaps maybe there could be a quest line that takes us to this area for whatever reason. Maybe something over in this direction? Very strange. Okay, well, there's nothing jumping out at me saying that this place is worth visiting again, but at least we did check the place out. We may as well go for the next scavenger camp. We did hear a lot of gunfire from that direction.
The ground fighting may have moved away from here, but there's still plenty going on up above. I don't mind them dropping those fighters out of the sky, long as they don't come down on my head. There's still good salvage to be got from them. Only thing is, most of them fall out in the open sands, and the worms won't give you any time to use a cutter ray out there. Still, you can get some nice stuff if you're daring enough for a dash and grab.
Okay. Just not entirely sure where this intel might be, but maybe through here? More power cells over there. Oh, just tucked away. I'll probably take a little bit of that. Yeah, so between cuts, I did take a look at, you know, our food, spiced food situation, and it still seems like we're not able to eat it, so I'm not entirely sure what the prerequisites are just yet to be consuming spice. Anyway, I am going to see if I can drop off a whole bunch of stuff for now, guys, and when I'm done, I'm heading out to the Haga Rift, and I'm probably just going to cut and see you guys when I get there. Alright guys, so I recognize that I'm not where we need to be, and the reason for that is because as I was making my way here and sort of clearing a few scavenger camps and whatnot, I realized that we still haven't found the second trial of Ackle, and I decided to sort of slow down and actually have a read of the quest entry. It does actually say that you might need to go to the Great Hammer of Mirzabah, and perhaps maybe it might be southwest of the Great Hammer. The Shattered Teeth of the Gods, nestled between molar and incisor, a cavity revealed. So that's why I'm here, because I figure perhaps maybe we just need to sort of look around this area a little bit more to see if we can find the entrance. And I haven't exactly explored this area very much. So, I mean, there's even like 3 scavenger camps here. So, let's see if we can just explore and see if we can find where it is that we need to go. And depending on how we go, I might include some of the footage, I might cut some out. But, yeah, we should take a look around because I feel like perhaps maybe the second trial is something that I should have already been able to complete by now, especially considering we're about to go, you know, to an area that is quite far. And I am sort of looking at a lot of our research options, and a lot of them are locked because we haven't done certain trials just yet. So we'll see how we go on trying to get this second trial done at the very least. Okay, I see some kind of a cave up there, so let's just see if this takes us to the trial. Oh, that was close.
What? We've got it coming.
Okay, this is probably not the place, but that's alright, at least we've been here, and we've confirmed. Okay, we are roughly in the area where it's directly sort of southeast, and there's no sign of any cave systems or anything like that, which I can see. There's another scavenger camp over there, which I'm not really that interested in going through right now. I don't really need more intel, or I'm not desperate to get more intel. I'm gonna see if I can move on and try a different area. If there's anything interesting here, it's just other players' homes. In fact, I was just sort of admiring this home here. Whoever's built this home has a pretty nice sense of style, to be honest. This looks really cool. So I'm very impressed. I hope I can build something as impressive at some point. But the next area that I'm gonna try is maybe this area here. So we did hit the ironworks in the area, but that was the only thing that we ever really did around this rock formation. So perhaps maybe if we look around there a little bit, we might actually find something. Because again, it is directly southeast of the hammer. And that's the only hint that we have to go by, so here's hoping. I'll see you guys when we get there. Oh my god. I wonder if this is it. Man, I've been all over this entire area, and I was scouring this section here, but it turns out it's actually between these two gigantic sort of rock formations. Yeah, I don't know how to read into that. I guess you could say that this is an incisor and this is a molar because of the shapes. You could argue the same for some of these as well. But anyway, we finally found it. Let's actually go in and bloody complete this trial, because I think it's been too long. Is this it? A deep struggle. I mean... it has the vibes, but it, you know... it does seem like scavengers have been occupying this area. Maybe... there's something deeper within this cave that will lead us to the trial. I mean, it most certainly looks like a different set of cave systems than what we're used to. Ooh, okay. Big drop there. I wonder if we're going to be able to get out. I suppose we should be able to climb back out. That shouldn't really be too much of an issue. Oh yes, okay, finally. The second trial. It's been way too long. Let's do it. Okay, so I suppose this is just going to be another gauntlet like the last one. Let's see where it takes us.
What is the purpose of thought? Ibn Kirtaiba. Speed is a device of Shaitan. Do you understand, Wani? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Bila kaifa.
Oh, what do we have here? Static compactor.
Our wanderings brought us to Rosek. We were persecuted. Our families burned in the fires of their ignorance. We learned the cost of inaction. Never to forgive, never to forget.
Okay, so it creates like a little bit of a tornado of sorts to get rid of these fires. I suppose we don't need to get rid of all of them, but just enough so that we can cross. Okay, good. Perhaps this is something that we can use to gather up, like, spiced sand or whatever, or any sort of sandy type resource.
To work in mines. The tunnels were unstable. Our work made them more so. We learned the cost of action. Never to forgive. Never to forget.
Right. So it clears paths as well. Interesting.
It was on Rosek that the Sayadina created the poison drug. Words became memories. Through thought and action combined, we learned to create.
I wonder if they're talking about Samuta. Nice, okay, so it can actually be used to clear a great many things, in fact. Try and let us get through different spaces. I do fear, though, that this is another piece of equipment that's going to occupy our inventory, and our inventory has a whole bunch of stuff that we have to keep for various, you know, situations, which, you know, demand equally, I guess, the amount of space that you have. So, and as soon as this occupies one more slot, then, you know, that's one more slot less of some kind of resource that you'd be able to hold.
The weight of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Did not God give us Shaitan to force action? And where does action lead?
Oh, okay then. Does it disappear? It might crumble as soon as we stand on it or something. Or maybe not. Or maybe yes. Yeah, it does, after a while. I think.
Ibn Tirtaiba. Thought and action lead to creation. What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Be la kaifa. What is the purpose of thought?
To honor the Creator?
To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Be la kaifa.
And awaken. Very cool. Yeah, flower sand. Main component for making silicon blocks and other recipes, but I guess the thing is I've already gotten a lot of silicon blocks just purely through looting, but also you can gather flower sand by hand. You don't have to use this tool. But it'd be good to craft the static compactor. I assume it's going to make that whole exercise a lot faster. Alright, so let us get out of here, and I would say that's going to be the episode, guys. I know I did say that we were going to do that Atreides contract, and we are going to do so, but I think that's something that we should reserve for the next episode. And yeah, here's hoping that we'll be able to also just check out Harko Village in the next episode as well, if we've got the time for it. So let me just get myself out of this place. Should be able to just easily climb up. And I might take the liberty of just returning back home with all of our stuff, because I feel like my inventory is getting a little bit clogged up right now. And I'll actually, I guess, start the next episode from this position. And, we can make our way to the, forget the name of the area, Haga Rift. That's it. To try and do this deep extraction. We could be in way over our heads there because, I probably don't have the right gear and everything, but if that's the case, then we'll obviously, back away from it and try to upgrade our gear, do all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Drop me a like if you did as usual. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.